Okay, we're going to go to Brazil now, where the Senate has begun an impeachment trial against the suspended President Dilma Rousseff. She's been accused of unauthorized spending and doctoring government accounts in the run-up to her re-election in 2014. Now, crippled with corruption, the performance of South America's biggest economy is currently worse than during the Great Depression. And as Anelise Borges reports, many are pointing fingers at Rousseff.
Dilma Rousseff made history by becoming the first woman to lead Latin America's largest democracy. Now she's set to star in yet another historic moment in Brazilian politics, as many people expect her to be thrown out of office following an impeachment process that has divided the country. While Rousseff has been at the helm, Brazil has faced the longest economic recession in a generation, as well as the largest corruption scandal in the country's history. Rousseff is one of the few politicians who were not charged in a scandal involving the state oil company Petrobras. Instead, she's accused of manipulating budget accounts during her re-election campaign, violating the Constitution. Since the process against her was initiated last year, Rousseff has become increasingly isolated, losing support from both houses of Congress in two dramatic sets of votes. She has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing and insists the accusations against her are politically motivated. In her own words, a coup. She has also refused calls to step down and has suggested a different way forward.
I give my full support for a referendum so the people can decide to call for early elections, as well as for political and electoral reform.
The impeachment process has been marked by political wrangling and has left Brazil lacking clear leadership and direction for most of the year. The final stages in this dramatic saga are set to begin on Thursday, when senators will gather here to listen to witnesses and debate ahead of a final vote next week. A two-thirds majority is needed to impeach Dilma Rousseff, and according to latest polls, there's enough support so far to reach that figure.
We are now living a political and economic crisis that is the result of the president's lack of respect towards the Brazilian constitution.
But others here think her removal is by no means certain.
Today, there are 48 confirmed votes in favor of the impeachment. For her to be removed, they need 54, and we're working to prevent that number from forming.
In front of the congressional building, a barrier has been built to separate pro- and anti-impeachment crowds, a sign of how bitter divisions have become in this country, where many now hope for a new chapter to begin, bringing with it stability and perhaps even the prosperity Brazil once enjoyed.
And Anelise joins us now from Brasilia. Anelise, if Rousseff is thrown out of office, what is the worst that could happen to her?
Well, if found guilty of so-called crimes of responsibility by two-thirds of the Senate, Dilma Rousseff will be removed from office with immediate effect. But no criminal charges will be brought against her. She will not be tried in any other court, nor does she face time in prison. She will be banned from public office for 8 years, and Dilma Rousseff has been asked to leave the presidential residence in case of an impeachment in the next 30 days. Reports here in local media suggest she has already started doing that. Dilma Rousseff is expected to keep 8 staff, 4 security personnel, 2 drivers, and 2 personal assistants. But she will not be receiving any kind of financial compensation in this process, in a sign that she has very little hope of emerging victorious from this process. She has said that she plans to spend the rest of the year abroad, most likely in Uruguay.
Right, and of course, if she is ousted, her vice president takes over. He has different political leanings to her. How will he steer the economy, do you think?
Well, Michel Temer is a right-leaning politician, and he has already put forward a whole set of liberal reforms his government plans to introduce in the short term. He says his #1 priority will be cutting government spending. He has already pushed one bill forward here in the Senate, and that will mean, of course, taking the knife and the hammer to most of those social programs introduced by the Workers' Party over the last 13 years. Michel Temer also says he will focus on reforming labor laws as well as the pension system here in this country, and those are considered to be much needed reforms. So even though Dilma Rousseff's supporters label this process as a coup, others in the financial market have welcomed the idea of a profound shakeup in the way business is done in this country. There are some positive indicators. The real has remained resilient in the last few months, and consumer as well as business confidence is up. But again, there will be some time before Brazil can claim back the prosperity it once enjoyed.
Okay, Anelise, thank you very much for that analysis from Brasilia.